Hallo und herzlich willkommen zurück zu Draugen. Hier ist Sabine die Cat und wir sind jetzt in Ruths Zimmer.
What am I looking for?
Anything out of the ordinary. Something that could explain what happened to Ruth.
This is real life, not a whodunit by Agatha Christie. There won't be a convenient series of clues leading to a tidy conclusion.
Says you.
Da liegt was.
Ruth never finished this. What does that spell? F-O-R-B.
For Banelson. The curse.
Who's that figure supposed to be? It's creepy.
A figment of her imagination. But the box she drew. It looks like this box under her desk.
Really? Let me see. Pull it out.
Irgendwie habe ich jetzt Angst, die Büchse der Pandora zu öffnen. Muss ich? Oh la la.
What is this?
I believe this might qualify as actual treasure.
Is that Norwegian money?
Sort of, but ancient. Viking coins.
Are they valuable?
Not in terms of monetary value, but historically. They belong in a museum.
Looks like Ruth had her own private museum.
Why would a child have these artifacts?
She must have enjoyed collecting and playing with them.
These are much too precious to play with. She should have given these to an adult.
She was a child, Edward. To her, they were just shiny toys. Wait! The pin. On the doll.
This is where it came from. Her collection.
But where did she find these treasures?
A dig, a gravesite. Wherever she found them, she wanted to keep them hidden.
You think someone found out?
These items wouldn't necessarily be worth much, except to a historian or archaeologist.
What if this is how... I mean, if someone learned she'd been collecting treasures, they might be willing to do terrible things.
Ja, kannst du recht haben, Lissie.
This is a waste of time.
Edward! You horrid man! Sorry. Please stay. I can't stand the thought of Ruth tossed aside because you're too busy to care.
Was suchen wir noch? Okay, da drüben liegt noch ein Buch.
Draugen.
Hey, the undead monster from those folk tales you read.
What an odd book for a child to have.
I don't know. Children love scary stories. This looks interesting. Read some of it to me, please.
Muss ich lesen oder lest du?
In Norwegian folklore, the appearance of Draugen, the reanimated corpse of a drowned mariner, heralds death. Draugen haunts the Black Seas in a shattered boat. The beast has a man's body and wears a sou'wester, but instead of a head, there is tangled seaweed, and the revenant's chilling cry freezes mortal blood to ice. Draugen has the power to enter the dreams of the living. If you wake from such a dream, you have been spared, though someone close to you... That's enough of that. It's nonsense, of course. Not something a child should be reading.
Do you think Draugen took our boat? Maybe he's out there, on the fjord, waiting for nightfall so he can return to shore.
No.
Your soul lacks poetry, Edward Charles Harden. I pity you.
Danke, dass du mich bemitleidest.
There's nothing here.
What about these drawings? They could be important.
Welche? Da ist der Nachttopf. Die haben wir sich schon angeschaut. Da ist der Bär mit dem Bildschirm. Die haben wir sich auch schon angeschaut. Gibt es hier noch eine Zeichnung? Die haben wir sich angesehen. Ah, da ist noch eine.
She found something.
Where's that supposed to be?
A cave. Or the...
Mine. It could be. But what did she find?
Her Viking treasure. Of course. There's a story here. The treasure box, the drawings.
The overactive mind of an imaginative child.
She didn't imagine the Viking artifacts. You shouldn't be so dismissive. The drawings could be her way of dealing with traumatic events.
This is what happens when I read you the principles of psychology. You get notions.
You say that like it's a bad thing. Ruth was troubled. The village was troubled, and... Is that a bell?
Church bell. Someone's here. Maybe... Betty.
Why would Betty ring the church bell?
Perhaps she's in trouble. I need to get to the church right now.
Wait, isn't it more likely to be the person you saw the other night? We should be careful.
I told you, I'm not sure that was anything. Come on.
Go ahead. I'll catch up with you before you get there. I need a minute to think about all of this.
Okay. Die Kirche ist oben. Machen wir sie auf den Weg. Vielleicht sitzt die Krähe oben und läutet die Glocke. Das wäre es jetzt noch. Wo ist denn jetzt der Weg drauf? Das wird jetzt lustig. Haben wir irgendwo Karte? Haus der Fredlands. Das mit dem Gehängten. Okay, ich glaube, ich muss den Weg hier lang. Ich schalte mal den Turbo-Speed ein. Und hoffe, dass ich am richtigen Weg bin. Ja. Okay, da müssen wir rauf. Da müssen wir durch. Augen zu und durch. Gibt's hier Bären eigentlich? Ich habe Angst vor Bären. So, mach mal auf. So, und rauf den Hügel. Schön die Birken. Schaut so wie Indian Summer aus. Halt war Sommer. Die letzten schönen warmen Tage im Herbst. Okay. Okay. Da ist die Kirche.
July 24th. Memorial service. A commemoration of the accident at the mine this past summer. No services after that.
Das sind die Gräber. Da haben wir den begraben wahrscheinlich, oder? Den Namenlosen.
All these fresh graves. Do you think that maybe
No.
Betty...
I'd know.
But
You wouldn't understand. Elizabeth and I, we have a bond.
God, Edward. Your obsession with her is really starting to grate.
Nice. Nervig dich?
Why board up a church?
To keep the ghosts from escaping?
Regardless of how they got past the boards, there's someone in there.
Jetzt wird's gruselig. Wie ist der da durchgekommen?
Who did this?
Someone who'd lost their faith.
Gone fishing?
God is not here.
Well, of course he isn't. You won't find God in a church. God is the wind in the trees, the grass between your toes, the brook that runs
That's
through.
nature, not God.
Can you peek through the boards?
Okay, ich habe Angst vor einem Jumpscare.
See anyone?
No,
Listen! The bell! There...
Hello? I heard the bell!
This is giving me
I'm
the
here to help.
heebie-jeebies.
These boards look flimsy enough to break.
Okay, nimm Anlauf und tritt sie durch. Ho. Ruck. Okay.
Look at that. The Ethel becomes an Edward. I didn't think you had it in you, old fruit.
Be quiet. It must be her ringing the bell. It must be Betty? Are you here? Hello? This is Edward Harden. I'm looking for my sister, Elizabeth.
Stop shouting, Edward. We're alone. There are only ghosts here.
There are no ghosts.
I don't know about that.
Kann mal jemand die Ghostbusters anrufen? Nur so vorsichtshalber. Da liegt was.
Lissie, look. Betty's gloves. They are definitely Betty's.
Oh,
She
for
got
Pete's
these
sake.
in Boston before she left for New York. She bought them at Woolworth. I remember the day She's here.
Where? And why would she leave her clothes lying around? It doesn't make sense.
Breadcrumbs. She's sending me a message. She knew I'd recognize her gloves. Her hat. She's left a trail for me to follow, like Ariadne's red thread.
We're not in a lab.
Betty will have left more crumbs.
Betty. You're turning into such a pill.
Eifersüchtig?
That bell still bothers me.
Okay, haben wir sonst irgendwas zum Anschauen? Wo ist die Glocke überhaupt? Ich dachte, da hängt ein Seil runter.
What happened here?
The sign on the door. God is not here. Their faith was challenged, and it didn't survive.
Isn't this a fire hazard?
They're not always lit. Each candle represents a single prayer.
That's a lot of prayers.
There were a lot of deaths.
Der Vorhang, Entschuldigung, der Teppich. Schaut schön aus. Okay, gehen wir mal hier rein.
I've never seen you read the Bible before.
I've read the Bible many times. It's an important historical document.
Jesus looks sad.
What reason would Jesus have to be happy?
Don't be blasphemous.
Given that this is all fiction, blasphemy is a contradiction.
Heretic.
Kürzer. Ich will das lesen, aber... Er lässt mich nicht. Warum nicht? Manchmal hat es schon ein bisschen was mit der Steuerung. Okay, wir können das anscheinend nicht lesen. Jetzt.
For he is our peace, who hath made both one, and hath broken down the middle wall of partition between us.
Did you just translate that into Olden English?
I happen to know the verse by heart.
You still manage to surprise me sometimes.
Lissie?
What are you doing? We're in a church.
Thought you didn't believe in God.
I do believe in civility.
Jetzt hätte ich fast was übersehen.
They considered this a sacred place. For them to destroy it. This was an act of desperation and anger. The church book, a record of births and deaths.
So we can find out what happened to the people in the village?
And Elizabeth. I mean, if she was dead...
Her name would be in the book.
Vandals. Tore it to pieces.
I don't think the missing pages left the church. Look.
Okay, look. Schauen wir sich um. Da liegt einmal einer.
How many pages are missing?
I counted 4.
They're probably all still here. I know. Let's make it a competition. 1-0 to Team Me.
Okay, da liegt auch noch eine. Muss ich jetzt wieder reingehen und die aufheben? 2:0 für mich.
I wanted you to find that one. I know what a rotten loser you are. The final dinner.
The Last Supper. Who taught you about the New Testament?
I pick up on things. Most folks aren't heathens, like you. Found another one. You get it. It's right here. We need to find all the pages.
Oh mein Gott, Lissie. Jetzt haben wir
Just
3.
one more page missing.
Na, gib der Mühe, Lissie. Ach, da ist die Glockenschnur.
What's this rope for?
The bell.
This is the bell we heard ringing?
I don't see any other bells.
So you have to stand here and pull this rope to ring it.
Yes.
But there was no one here. You didn't see anyone, right?
No. No one.
Ghosts. I'm telling you, it's ghosts. So what happened to the hunchback of Grovik?
They must be here still. There's only the one exit.
Maybe it was the wind.
A church bell's too heavy. It can't have been the wind. I mean... I don't know. Maybe it was the wind. There's no one here.
Ich will ziehen.
I don't like that sound. Please stop.
Okay. Wir brauchen immer noch die letzte Seite. Schauen wir sich hier nochmal um. Da ist nichts. Vielleicht auf der Kanzel. Auf der Kanzel oben? Ah. Okay, gehen wir mal drauf. Da ist die letzte Seite. Da ist die letzte Seite.
2 for 2. A tie. Good job, Teddy. Old
Stop,
bean.
Lissie. This is not a game. Betty's out there.
Of horse feathers. Stop being so gosh darn tedious, Edward. Bitty, bitty, bitty. Will you ever shut up about your precious Betty? Put those pages back in the book, and I'll stop trying to cheer you up. What's that?
The last sermon that was held here.
What does it say?
The vicar's handwriting is hard to decipher, and the language. He talks about the village being divided for 20 years. This sermon was held on the anniversary of the accident this past summer. He's asking the congregation to help heal old wounds, to forgive, and move on. Something to the effect of, you sit in separate aisles in God's house.
Like Ruth's drawing. I told you, she was perceptive.
It sounds like Grovik was split in two, between those who stood by Johann and those who supported Frederick.
Because of Ruth?
This sermon is from before that. No, this is all about the preceding 20 years of division and disagreements. Here's something else. Many of you believe Grovik was cursed 20 years ago. God has not cursed you. This curse is of your own making.
Ruth's drawing mentioned a curse. What do you think that means?
It means they believed they were cursed, and that they needed something or someone to blame for their misfortune. Tilly varandra.
Edward?
Forgive each other. It addresses Johann and Frederick directly, but I wonder if they were even here.
Remember the wedding picture? They were close friends once. How could they allow their grudge to escalate until...
You call each other traitors, but the only thing you've betrayed are the bonds that unite us.
So, Leute. Ich würde sagen, an dieser Stelle mache ich jetzt eine kurze Pause. Ich bedanke mich vielmals fürs Zuschauen. Ich hoffe, es hat euch gefallen. Wenn es euch gefallen hat, ich würde mich sehr freuen über ein Like. Vergesst nicht zu abonnieren und die Glocke einzuschalten. Wir sehen uns beim nächsten Mal. Tschüss.